Just 2 months or 3 months after 9/11, I published a booklet entitled A Muslim Response to the Attack on America. We've got the booklet here. And in that booklet, I argued that the target is Pakistan's nuclear plants and nuclear weapons. I also argued that in order for them to be able to move in and destroy Pakistan's nuclear plants and nuclear weapons, they will have to provoke civil war in Pakistan. And that's what they're trying to do now. If elements within the Pakistan armed forces were to rebel against the military command in Pakistan and the government, and fighting were to break out within the Pakistan armed forces, that would be the cue for them to move in to save the world from a nuclear threat. Once they dispose of Pakistan's nuclear plants and nuclear weapons, and to an extent Iran's missile capacity, then 2012 would be, I believe, all the hype about 2012 is meant to prepare the world for something big. Everybody is waiting for something big. So let's not disappoint them. And 2012 perhaps can witness Israel's big war, the use of nuclear weapons in Israel's war. And eventually, it will then become clear that Israel has replaced the United States as the ruling state in the world. A defining moment in history for the transfer of power from the United States to Israel to be recognized by the rest of mankind. No more questions, please. Well, this is a nice question. How do we look for a wife? Well, you've been able to see, haven't you? We have very beautiful women here in Trinidad. Don't we? And we did put, didn't we, in the registration, those looking for a wife? When you're looking for a wife, said the Prophet ﷺ, look at her. He said there are some women who have a defect in the eyes, may not be pleasing to you. So look at her. If in her physical appearance she is pleasing to you, and remember, not all trees are ornamental trees. If a handsome man were to marry a stunningly beautiful woman, they're going to have a lot of headaches in that marriage. Yes. But if a handsome man were to marry a woman who would care for him, then you have a sort of a complementarity there. So look at her and see whether her appearance is appealing to you. And then look to her public life to see whether in her public life she displays faith and righteousness of conduct. Don't go digging into her private life. She may have done something and Allah covered it. She made tawbah. No, we have enough questions here now. Allah covered it. And if you go digging in the private lives of others, Allah will one day uncover all that you did, and that was covered. That's all you need to look for a wife. When the rabbis asked the three questions and the answers were given to them, how did they respond? There was only one response that we have any data about. Question number one was ask him about the young men in the cave and the wondrous story, Ashabul Kahf. Question number two was ask him about the great traveler who traveled to the two ends of the earth. Question number three was a tricky question. Ask him about the ruh. The ruh could be Jibreel alayhi salam. The ruh could be the human ruh. And the ruh could be the divine ruh. Does Allah have ruh? وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. And I breathed into him of my ruh. Which one? And the answer that was given was an answer that was entirely appropriate in response to the tricky question. قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. Say this to them, say only this to them, say nothing more than this to them. That the ruh is by Allah's command. وَمَا أُوتِيتُ مِنْ عِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. And on this subject, you've been given only a little bit of knowledge. He has the knowledge. Come to him. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. You say you are the elite of mankind. You say you have direct dialing with the Lord above. You say heaven is reserved for you, but he has the knowledge. وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. So they didn't like that answer. So they wanted to make sure, listen, O Muhammad alayhi salatu, who is Allah referring to? Us? When he said, you've been given only a little bit of knowledge. Is he referring to us or to those pagan Arabs? And the Prophet replied, and I wish I could see the video one day. He said both. He said both. This is the only data we have of how they responded when the three answers came. You said that Gog and Magog would not actually drink up the water. It is symbolic, the drinking. It's actually consuming the water. Is it possible that in the same way that the language drinking the water is to be understood and interpreted symbolically, that the entire subject is symbolic? No. The Quran refers to Gog and Magog as entities, concrete entities. And Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam said that they are human beings, they are Banu Adam, they are human beings.